and welcome to this amazing platform. I am Shruti, your French trainer. In today's session, we are going to focus on, as you can see here, l'impératif. So what does l'impératif means? First of all, in English, we call it as imperative or imperative sentences. So today, you will learn how to use imperative sentences, how to conjugate them, and we will understand this with the help of some examples. So let's get started. Now, here we have what is l'impératif. It says l'impératif is used to give orders or advice to one or more people. The imperative only exists in the subject pronoun, that is tu, nous, vous. That is, you cannot use je, il, elle or xyz. You just have to use tu, nous, vous. But there is a condition, that is, you have to remove those tu, nous and vous. So here we have an example. The first example is arrêter, that is to stop, as you can see here. Second is monter, that is to climb up. Now, first let me try to conjugate the verb arrêter in present tense. It becomes vous arrêtez. But I want its imperative form. What I will do now? I will remove this vous and hence I'll get my imperative form. It's very simple and it's very easy. So I think it's clear to you. Now here for the monter, for the verb monter, you did the same thing. That is, you just removed the subject pronoun vous. Moving further, we have another example. It says mettez votre ceinture s'il vous plaît. That is, put your seat belt, please. So here mettez is our infinitive verb. When to use imperative in French? Very easy. It's just when you want to give orders or advices or suggestion, you are obliged to use imperative at that time. Now, in this slide we have again another example. Conduisez-moi à la gare, that is, drive me to the station, any station, either it can be bus station or a train station. So, conduisez is written as imperative or in imperative sense. Now, it says sometimes we include ourselves in the order and use the imperative in the first person plural form. This is similar to the English let's infinitive, let's plus infinitive. So, there are some situations or circumstances when you want to include yourselves. For example, let's go to the shopping tonight. Let's go to do this. Let's go there. What are you doing? You are including yourself. So, you have to use the subject nous, but again you have to remove or delete that nous. So here we have an example, allons-y or let's go there or let's go. Now, how to conjugate l'impératif in French? How to conjugate with the subject tu? We conjugate the imperative in the second person singular using the present tense form of the first person singular. We do not include the subject pronoun tu. It says this means that regular ER verbs, or you can say ER group of verbs, ends with E, while all other verbs, any other verbs, they end with S. For example, parler. So these all are conjugated with the subject pronoun tu. So parler becomes parle, finis becomes finir, vendre becomes vont. Now let's take another ER group of verb, that is chanter. Let's first write it in present tense with the subject tu. Tu chante. Now I want its imperative form. What I'll do, I'll remove this tu and I'll write shan't. Oops, there is an error. Whenever we write the imperative form with the subject tu, especially for the er group of verbs, we have to remove this s and we will write in this way, shan't. This is a very important rule. You have to keep this in your mind always and forever. But for the other group of verbs, for example, ir or re group of verbs, you just have to remove the subject pronouns. That's it. Now, with nous, the imperative for the first person plural form nous is the same as the present tense form. This means that for er and re verbs and irregular verbs, we add ons. You have to understand this or learn this. And for ir group of verbs that are conjugated like finir, we add ison. The subject pronoun again, it is omitted. For example, these all are conjugated with the subject pronoun nous. For example, parler becomes parlons, finir becomes finissons, and vendre becomes vendons. Now, second person plural, vous. The imperative for the second person plural form, vous, is the same as the present tense form. This means that er and re verbs and irregular verbs, we add ez, and for ir verbs or ir group of verbs that are conjugated like finir, we add ise. The pronoun vous is omitted. Here, these all are conjugated with the subject pronoun vous, but we have removed this vous because this is a very important rule for writing down an imperative sentence. Parler becomes parler, finir becomes finissez, vendre becomes vendez. Now, how to use reflexive verbs in imperative form? To form a positive imperative with a reflexive verb, we use the conjugated verb followed by a reflexive stressed pronoun. The reflexive stressed pronoun or reflexive pronouns are very important. For example, tu becomes toi, vous remains vous, nous remains nous. It's just you have to remove the subject pronoun. You have to remove tu, nous, vous. Now, this is my reflexive stressed pronoun. Reflexive stressed pronoun. Because lève-toi means stand yourself up. Although in English we never say stand yourself up, but here, since reflexive verbs means the actions that we do on ourselves. So lève-toi means get up or stand up. Lève-nous means let's get up or let's stand up. What are you doing? You are including yourself as well as another person. So we have used here reflexive stressed pronoun, that is toi, nous, or you can also write lève, levez-vous. Now here we have in negative imperatives, very important. That is how to write the reflexive verbs into negative imperative sentences or negative imperative sense. The reflexive pronoun is unstressed. Okay, in the negative sentences, we have to unstress the reflexive pronoun and occupies its normal position after the ne and before the verb. Here you have examples. Now, you don't have to add any dash or any tire. You just have to write ne before your reflexive. Alright? And you have to write the verb, that is left, conjugated in present tense with the subject pronoun tu, and then you have to write pas. Again, one very important thing, since this is se lever, we could say that this is categorized into ER group of verbs. So for ER group of verbs, if you conjugate with the subject to, what you have to do? You have to remove this S. So here you cannot find any S. I cannot see any S. If you can, so tell me. I cannot see any S because we do not write any S. It's just ne, te, lève pas. Very easy. Ne, nous, lèvons pas. Or ne, vous, lèvez pas. That's it. Exceptions. Like I keep on saying that French language is full of exceptions. So here we have some exceptions. Some verbs have an irregular imperative form. So here we have the infinitive verbs and its imperative tense. Aller becomes va, allons, aller. With tu it becomes va, although you will not write tu. With nous it becomes allons, and vous, with vous it becomes allez. Avoir becomes aille, ayons, ayez. Être becomes sois, soyons, soyez. Savoir becomes sache, sachons, sachez. Vouloir becomes veuille, veuillons, veuillez. So it's very important. You just have to learn them by your heart. That's it. Now, I hope that the concept, that is the imperative form or the imperative that is a mood, is clear to you. And at the end, I would just say merci beaucoup.